So here's the battlefield for today. The Orks they've been crushing their way across this planet, and the forces of the Imperium have sent the Sisters of Battle to deal with them. They will be purged with holy flame and fire. There will be melter. There will be everything we can throw at these Orks. We may be outnumbered, but we don't care. We're going to kill them. We're going to pull them into pieces. Celestine is going to deliver the Emperor's holy wrath upon them. So this is the battlefield. There's very little in the way of line blocking or eyesight blocking terrain, but we do have some area terrain. So each of these building types here are marked out with some small chippings. They're terrain areas. The same with the trees. This section here is an area of terrain, so we'll benefit a cover save. And then in the centre we have the Imperium statue that we need to make sure that the Orks do not defile. So we are playing Big Guns Never Tire. We've got 3 heavy supports on the Ork side and 2 on the Imperium side. So we're going to quickly do some roll-offs and do some deployment, work out what the table is going to be for deployment, and we'll come back when everything is on. So here we have 3,000 points of Imperium. So we have Sisters of Battle. The army is being led by Celestine. She is the warlord. She's accompanied by a Canoness and Inquisitor Greyfax. In troops choices, we have 3 Battle Sister squads. They are cut and paste with melter gun heavy flavor. And then in fast attack, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Dominion squads. One of which has got 4 flamers in, and the others have got a combination of 3 or 4 melter guns. We additionally have some Seraphim here, 2 of which have got hand flamers. So that makes up the 5 fast attack choices. We have 2 heavy support exorcists. We also have an Avenger Strike Fighter for some extra DACA to move around the table. And then 5 transports in the form of 3 immolators with immolation flamers and 2 rhinos. And all of the tanks have got additional storm bolters. And then finally, we have a Knight Crusader to provide some extra DACA. So this makes up a battalion and an outrider detachment. So we have 7 command points for this game, and that is 3,000 points of Imperium loveliness. And weighing in with 8 command points, we have the Ork army. We have a vanguard, a spearhead, and a battalion. So Alex, tell us what your army is made up of. Who's the warlord?
So warlord is Zardsnark the Ripper.
Right.
Yeah, obviously evil sons for the whole thing.
Yeah, means cat's piss. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan. And then as a battalion is obviously him.
Yep.
A mega armored war boss.
Yep.
Squad of 9 bikers with a power claw.
Okay.
3 big blobs of 30 boys, one of which is all shooters.
Don't like them.
A pain boy for good measure.
Okay.
And then and a blitzer bomber as well, part of the battalion.
Gonna kill it.
Then the vanguard is led by the weird boy with the jump as a psychic power.
Yep.
Mega knobs, all with combi rockets, and they're hitching a ride in a battle wagon.
Okay.
2 squads of 5 burners.
Donk, donk.
With 2 trucks.
Okay. I love these trucks. They're really cool. Yeah.
Then over to the spearhead. We've got a big mech with a custom force field leading this one.
Okay.
Got a squad of 15 looters.
Yeah, okay.
2 mech guns, both of which are tractor guns, the anti-air ones.
Okay.
Another 2 mech guns are custom mega cannons.
Okay, don't forget with these guys, do they still do the random number of shots?
It's D3 for the whole
So
unit.
just roll a 1 each time.
So the potential is 45.
Just roll a 1. Just roll a 1. Okay.
And then a Lord of War choice is the kill tank from Forge World.
That's hard to kill, isn't it?
I've had great success of it in the last 3 games. It's yet to go below 18 wounds because of the healing and the force field and the...
So what's the healing?
Well, it'll be the big mech we're riding in it, so it's got 5 up
right.
against shooting. Big mech automatically repairs D3 each turn. He himself repairs 1 on a 6. He's got a burster cannon, which is a massive cannon on the front, 2 scorchers, and it's quite good in combat as well.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So the challenge is on. I've got to take it below 18 wounds, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, we'll see what we can do. Let's have a look at the table. So objectives have been placed. We have one here next to the statue, a 3rd one back here, and a 4th one here. Unfortunately, the Orks placed the 4th objective and they want to get as close as they can, as quick as they can. So they're selecting Dawn of War. Which side of the table do you want?
My side.
So this side here. So Orks will be here, Imperium here. So this is what it looks like after deployment. We have a green tide right the way across the backfield, but facing them we have the Sisters of Battle line, anchored in the middle with the knight, but opposing it over here is the super heavy killburster tank, and then we've got some heavy support love here. So these are the 2 points that I can give away, supported by the Canoness to give them the rerolls. So that is where we are at the moment. The Sisters of Battle deployed first, so we got to roll off to see who gets turn 1. I get a +1. I've got 7.
I can't beat it. So.
Would you like to try and steal the initiative?
I really like to see the initiative, yeah. So, initiative stealing. I'll use command dice.
Ooh.
Yes.
Stolen initiative. Uh-oh. So after that horrific initiative steal by the Orks, the table's changed dramatically. There's a massive push forward here. They're not very far away from the Imperium lines now, and before long they're going to be holding another objective, if they're not already. In fact, they might be there. So a big squad here. Over this side of the table, the what's his name? The guy who jumped in the vehicle?
The big mech with
the
the
big
custom
mech
force field.
So he's inside that vehicle now. That's moved forward. That's the mega armoured knobs inside there, and these have held back. And I believe that the Psyker is going to try and push them across. Oh, and the bomber is across here.
He's dropping the bomb.
Going to be dropping bombs.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the movement phase. Let's see what happens as we go into psychics.
Actually, I didn't do advanced then. Yeah, doing that.
Yeah. So
So
we've got these guys are moving forward a bit more with their
first one
advanced
there.
moves. Just the 1,
That one there.
3. It's all about getting them as close as they can. All right, psychics. So end of the psychic phase, and the Psyker rear boy successfully manifested, and he's jumped this whole squad of 30. They're now 9 inches away. 9-inch charge to reach this unit. Not much liking that. So at the end of the shooting phase, a lot of Daka came in here. This thing's down to 6 wounds. The Imperial Knight's been shot at quite a lot. He's on 17, and I lost quite a few of the Seraphim to the bombs and the shooting from here. Also, the Avenger is on 9, and the Immolator here is on 7. So that's it for shooting. I think there may be 1 or 2 charges to do as we go into the charge phase. So we're now in the charge phase, and there are 3 charges to declare. The first one, this battle wagon is trying to charge into this Immolator. I don't know what you need, but
It's a 10.
that's
no,
not in.
Do it, no.
And then this blob squad here are trying to multi-charge both of these rhinos and this squad of battle sisters. So they need a 9 to reach the 2 rhinos and a 10 to reach the squad. I can see a 1.
Yep, no. Here we go, so it re-rolls them.
Right.
No, they're not.
No, so they're not in. That's good. We like that. Stranded there. Happy with that. Should just point out, he deployed them in such a way to try and bubble wrap that big tank as well if the charge failed. So that was well done. And then finally, the bikes trying to charge in here.
Probably a 10 again. They've got, here we go.
Here we go.
No.
No. So no successful charges on turn 1. I'm pleased about that, but I think that's probably going to be the only turn where we have that benefit, because everything will be closed in lovely. So let's move on to the second half of turn 1, Sisters of Battle. So before we start the movement phase, Celestine rolled, and the army rolled, and they've got an act of faith in. Celestine also put in an act of faith. So this squad and this squad got an out of phase shoot, and we've reduced the numbers a little bit on this squad, and we've put 5 wounds on the battle wagon. So that's a good start. Now let's do the movement. So at the end of the movement phase, all the boots are on the ground. I've had to jump out. It's almost a suicide mission, but I need to try and hurt some of this stuff before it comes crashing around. Over here, Celestine and the Seraphim have stayed put. They're going to try and pull the flyer out of the sky. I don't like this whole mortal wound thing. The knight has moved around, and here we have a wave of bolter, flamer and melter. I'm hoping to hurt this squad, maybe finish it, damage this thing badly, and maybe damage this thing as well before the Mega Knobs jump out and tear me a new one. So that's the end of the movement phase. For the first time in a very long time, I have a psychic phase because Inquisitor Greyfax is there. So that's the end of the shooting turn 1 for the Sisters of Battle, and it's been a mixed bag. I've not been very successful here. I put loads of shooting in and I've killed a couple of bikers, that's it. And I didn't even manage to destroy this thing here, which is a shame. Over here, the Blob Squad are gone, all killed. Managed to destroy the battle wagon, and I then fired in an awful lot of fire, particularly from the Knight, and now there's just the Warlord and one Mega Knob left. And how many wounds is this on now?
16.
16. So I've beaten the previous champion of getting it down to 18, so I could lose the game now and all would be fine. But that is the end of the shooting phase. The only other thing I managed to do was I sneakily made sure I was the closest model to the Weird Boy, and he's gone. So he's destroyed. Don't think I've done enough, but it's the best I can do. But we have got some assaults to do. So let's move straight onto the charge and fight phases. So as we go into the charge phase, we've got several charges to do. The first one is these two squads here are going to try and charge the tank, because I've realised that if I can time up in combat for him to fall back, we'll stop him from shooting. So that's what we're going to do. But he's got some overwatch. So charging in first with the squad of flamers.
So 2 D6 scorches. They get 7 shots coming in.
Strength
5.
5,
AP
so
minus 1.
wounded on 3s.
Oh, full house. 7.
7.
AP minus 1 to burn you alive.
Just going to get my dice a minute. So here we go. 7 attempts. It was AP minus 1, did you say?
Yeah.
So 4 ups needed. So 3 go down.
Yeah, and the
What
big
else
cannon
have
at
we
them. So 2 D6 shots for the big cannon.
8
8
shots.
shots for that coming out.
Hitting on 6s.
Hitting on 6s. Not 1.
No. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, let's see if I make the charge. I'm going to reuse a command point to re-roll that 1. That's
Still.
possibly enough. Let's just measure it up a minute.
Depends where you take the 3 from. Assuming not from.
So this is the guy here, this is the closest one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's in, because I only need a 5.
Yeah, 6 will get you just
So
an
we're
inch.
there. So we just rolled and we got the second squad in, and as you can't overwatch now, I might as well try a cheeky 12-inch charge from the Imperial Knight. No, never mind. And then the only other charges are Celestine and the Seraphim are coming up to try and pull this flyer out of the sky. So some overwatch. What are you shooting at? The Celestine's going
I'll
first.
go first. Well, be the other one then.
So go on then.
So super shooters. 6s. 1 6.
One hit.
Little 3s. Nope.
Nope.
Big shooter.
Oh, what strength is it?
6.
So 2s will do it.
Oh,
And toughness
okay,
3.
Minus 1.
I saved because I got 2 up armour.
No, big shooter. No.
No. So I can't fail to get in. The only one that might would be the Seraphim, so a double 1 might fail them, but they're in. So let's just move all the models in and then we'll see what happens. So Celestine charged in. She didn't need anyone to help her. She hit it and wounded it 5 times, doing 10 wounds. It went. It didn't blow up. Alex did try and use a command point to make it blow up because it blows up on a 4 up, and he was thinking some crafty wounds would come out, and I told him not to do it. I told him he would roll a 2, and he rolled a 2. So no damage done there. Who would have thought that Sisters of Battle would be any good in close combat against a massive tank? So how many wounds did I do to you in close combat?
3, didn't you?
Yeah, needing 6s to wound and 4s to hit, and I did it. And the important part was that's degraded it down, so it's on 13 wounds. 13 wounds. So that is the end of this phase. My prophecy for next turn is that there will be nothing here. Nothing here will be left is what I'm expecting. And then they'll be sweeping around this direction. So we'll see what I can do to counter it. I feel strong in this corner here. This is okay. There's still nasties. There's still tons of horrible stuff that can hurt me. But I think it's going to be a battle where I'm sweeping around this way and the Orks are sweeping around this way. We'll see. Turn 2 for the Orks. So turn 2 movement for the Orkies. So this guy has moved and advanced, as has this guy, because they're going to charge. They want to try and tie up some of these units, I'm told. And then over here, the big tank has withdrawn. I've scared him off, and he's going to do a repair roll in a minute. Do you want to do that now?
Do it now. So it's D3. I'll burn the Grot Oiler. It adds 1 to whatever I get. I'll use command dice to reroll that.
Okay. No, I could have told you. I told you earlier. You roll 2s every time.
So he's got his own personal one on a 6 up. No, so he's back up to 15.
15 wounds. It's going to help him. Not for long. So these guys have moved forward, and then over here, as predicted, the green tide is sweeping its way round, and there's flamers here. There's flamers here, and then these bikes. You can see that they're going to be doing. They're going to try and tie up the exorcists if they can. We'll see. So, shooting phase, as there is no longer a psychic phase. Halfway through the shooting phase, and the tractor beam type weapon from down here has dragged the flyer back down to 4 wounds, and he's just rolled for the looters to shoot here, and he's rolled 3 shots each. So that's 45 shots. Let's see what we can do. Let's see it on camera. What are these hitting on?
5s.
What have we got?
2, 3, 4.
So that's 19 hits. Let's see if he can commute into wounds. So this is 5s to wound. It's not bad. That's a 5.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. And what AP are these?
AP minus 1.
So 4 up saves. Saved 3.
2 damage a pop.
So 6 wounds taken. So down to 11. That was a painful shooting phase. So although this squad are still alive, they've only taken 2 wounds, and so is this squad. There's so much that's going to be charging in. It's going to hurt. In the backfield, they did pull the Avenger Strike Fighter out of the sky, which was a shame. Really disappointed about that. But that is the end of the shooting phase. There are some assaults to do. Oh, before I forget, 6 wounds done to this squad. Don't think they're going to survive the morale phase, but we'll see. We'll see. But first of all, charges and fights. So at the end of the charge phase, everything here is tied up. However, this vehicle is on 2 wounds?
3.
3 wounds. I managed to hit it with a flame melter gun, which was good. I killed quite a few of these guys as they were coming in. Likewise, the Exorcist shot out 2 or 3 of the bikes, but it hasn't stopped them being tied up now. And this vehicle has made it in onto the Immolation Flamer. So the Immolator tank, rather. And the Warlord is in on this squad of girls. So he's certainly trying to tie me up. Over here, slightly different situation. I shot out the War Boss as he came in with some really good lucky Overwatch shots. But I didn't manage to do anything to this dude, so he will probably carve his way through that squad. So that's the end of the charge phase. Let's now go to the fight phase and see how much damage is caused. So at the end of the assault phase, pretty much as we expected, 1 vehicle, the 2 squads have been destroyed. No damage done to this Immolator though, so that's good news. Couple of wounds to this Exorcist, but nothing else. No wounds done back in exchange. And then over here, a couple of these girls were killed. So let's quickly do their leadership test. So a 1, that's okay. And for this squad here, no, that's going to finish off both of those models unless I choose to do a reroll. It's 2 melter guns, so I'm going to try and do it. Use 1 more command point. No, so they're dead. So that's the end of the phase, and yeah, pretty brutal. So before we start the movement phase, I've used 2 Acts of Faith because I was lucky enough to get a second one, and this Dominion squad is moved forward. They want to try and get into range to shoot that thing, and Celestine has moved this direction. She's going to try and join the fight. See if can Celestine on her own slow down this move around the outside. She's done a great job of tying up both Exorcists and that Immolator. Great, I can fall back out of combat. I'm not going to be able to shoot. It's not good, not good. Alright, movement phase. So at the end of the movement phase, there's a concerted push forward. The squad of 3 that were tied up with this dude, they've fallen back, and then everything's moved forward. The big squad with melters have jumped into that rhino and it's moved forward. I've got 1 squad that's moved forward in range of this. Remind me how many wounds he's got now?
15.
15. I need to hurt it. And the knight has moved forward. The seraphim has moved forward. And Celestine's jumped across here. She's coming straight through. She's aiming for the warlord. And then the canoness here is going to make one last stand before she gets pulled down. And the exorcists have moved back along with this immolator. So see if I can try and buy them a little bit of time. We'll see. And then these girls here are going to come around and try and help with this big squad. So that's the end of the movement phase. Psychics. So psychic phase, Inquisitor Greyfax is going to try and smite this nasty guy out. So do I get smiting? Yes I do.
Whoa.
I've perils, but it's D6 mortal wounds. 3 wounds. That kills him. And that perils does 1 wound to Inquisitor Greyfax. I'll take that.
Damn.
Get rid of that horrible blooming mega knob out of my backfield. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Oh, that's a horrific turn of shooting. Killed a load of Orc boys, which is fine. Killed a load of looters, which is fine. And this is on 11 wounds. I rolled really crappy dice, including from this dude here, because he's been eroded down to the hitting on 4s. And I can't remember rolling so many 1s for a long time. Over here, I shot out the vehicle. That makes it a nice, easy charge through for Celestine onto the warlord. But I lost one of my guys, or girls, to the exploding vehicle. We took a wound on one of these, wound on the warlord, and 3 of the burners died, and also a couple of guys from this squad. So it was quite an explosive round at this end of the table. But that's it for shooting. Let's have a look and a think about assaults, and what charges and fights we're going to do. So at the end of the charge phase, Celestine made it in unscathed. Unfortunately, the Imperial Knight didn't make it in against the big tank, but the squad did, so they'll stop it from shooting again. That's the main thing. The Rhino charged in to absorb the Overwatch, and then the Seraphim came in afterwards, and that's pretty much it for the charge phase. So let's go into the assaults and kill some stuff. So we'll just do this one on camera. So Celestine charges in. She is hitting on 2s. She missed with 1. She's strength 7, toughness 6, so 3s to wound. She's only done 2 wounds. AP minus 3.
How much damage did it?
2 per.
Yeah, so he's down to 2 wounds.
Down to 2. Then there's the Gemini Superior, who gets 3 attacks. So also hitting on 3s this one. So she's hit twice, but she's only strength 3, so she'll need 6s to wound. No wounds achieved. So the Orc war boss lives to fight another day. I should have used the command point to reroll one of my wounds. Idiot. So now the war boss takes a strike back. I'm really regretting not using that command point.
2s.
So he's hit with 4. I'm only toughness 3.
12. So very wounded. It's AP minus 4.
Okay, so it's 4 up involved. So I'm going to do these one at a time. So the first one, saved. Second one, so that's how many wounds?
D3.
So D3 on the Gemini Superior.
1.
1. That was important because she's got a wound left now. Then the third one, she saves, and the fourth one, no, so that will finish her off. We survived. We may not survive this
I'm
one.
more happy I survived.
Well, I'm not happy you survived either, to be fair. But anyway, let's go and finish off the rest of the assaults and see what happens. So at the end of the assault phase, we saw what happened here. These guys are okay because they're using the leadership of the big squad next to them. Over here, the Orks dragged the Seraphim down, killed every single one of them. But then the Rhino obviously must have driven over them because they failed morale and they are all dead, Dave. They're all dead. And then over here, one more died to morale to the looters as well. So that's slowly reducing their shooting. However, they didn't do enough, and this thing didn't get in to kill that. So I need to survive another round of shooting to be able to then reach this thing and hopefully stomp it into the ground. We'll see. So, end of turn 2, turn 3 for the Orkies. So, at the end of the movement phase, that cowardly Orc killburst tank has again moved back. No other movement here. And around here, the bikes are moving forward again. They fancy their chances once again against these exorcists. The Flamer dudes, can't remember what they're called, Burner Boys, jumped in with the other squad, so there's 7 in there. And they've surrounded Celestine because they're aware if they kill her and if she comes back, she won't be able to come back on here. It'll be anywhere on the battlefield that's over 9 inches away.
I'll be giving them.
Right, so at the end of the shooting phase, a lot of pistol shots, 1 wound taken, no damage done here from the squad of Burner Boys, sorry, the vehicle. And then over here, did a load of shots in at this, didn't hurt it. Done some damage to the knight, but he burnt his last command point trying to get more shots from the looters and no damage done. So next turn, it's going to be brutal. Next turn, that will die. It will. That will die. I guarantee it. But first of all, we better do some charges and some fighting. So at the end of the charge phase, these guys are in on Celestine. This vehicle tried to assault this, and I shot it out, which is good. No one was hurt, but other than the vehicle itself. So then the bikers decided to multi-assault all 3 vehicles. He's tying me up nicely. It's a real pain in the backside, this is. And then over here, the looters have moved forward and charged into this Dominion squad. He's worried about these melters getting over there. So he should be worried and all. So that's it. Let's resolve the fights. So it took the boys, but they did it on their own. They still had 21 shots or hacks to do, and Celestine has been dragged down. So on a 2+, she comes back to life. She's back. Now because there are no Gemini Superior around, she comes back on the battlefield anywhere that is 9 inches away. She's coming on here. I'll measure it up in a minute, but she wants to get that Warlord because the War Boss's backside is sticking out, so I'll be able to come in and hopefully hoover him up. So at the end of turn 3 assault phase, 1 wound done to each of the exorcists and nothing more. And over here, only 1 Sister of Battle pulled down, and no damage done. No, I killed 1 back actually. So, but neither of us failed morale. So that's it. Let's go to the bottom half of turn 3. So very quickly, I used an act of faith to draw this squad out, so they don't need to fall back. They will be able to move and then shoot. And then over here, Celestine has brought 1 of her dudes back, and she's using her own personal act of faith to resurrect the other one. We'll only be on 1 wound, but that's doable. So at the end of the movement phase, Celestine and Gemini have charged forward. This one's fallen back. This one's fallen back, but this one's staying locked in combat because I'm hoping to pull off a sneaky smite which will automatically take it out of combat. So then it'll be able to shoot. That would be nice. And then over here, we've moved across. We're looking to try and shoot and charge down that squad. The Dominions have moved across. They're now within 3 inches with their melter guns. I'll probably miss, as usual. And then I've got this squad have got out, and then their ride has moved around. I'm going to try and close and tie them up in combat. After I've flamed these, and the small squad that were here have jumped in, and that's on the move. So that's it. Let's go into Psychic phase. So Psychic phase, trying to do a smite. If I can kill this one lone dude, I'll be able to shoot. Ooh. So that's in. D3. No perils. D3. Just the one, but that's all I need. Ah no, you've got 2 wounds. Ooh.
1 command dice left.
Do I use the 1 command dice? Is it going to make a big difference? I think it will. I'm going to blow my last command dice. 3. So that kills that chap. So end of the shooting. The war boss is dead. That was Slay the Warlord. And then by killing off that locking model here, I've managed to shoot out all of the war bikes. Things are changing. And over here, shot out most of the grot gunners there, killed a few of the looters, which is good, and I've brought this big tank down to 8, so hopefully I'm going to be able to assault it. So that's it for shooting. I've got a load of charges to do. So I've got Celestine and her mates are going to be charging these guys, because I need to try and bring them down below the 20 mark to reduce the number of attacks that they've got. The Rhino here is going to be charging into these tanks to try and tie them up. That squad plus the Knight are going to charge this. Both of these are going to charge those vehicles, those guns there, possibly. I might actually move these into charge against the looters and support it with both of these squads. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, there's a lot of charges, so we'll roll these off camera and see where we end up. Slay the Warlord! They cut her down. She killed a few, but not enough, and Celestine is now dead. This thing's still alive. 5 wounds. Didn't do anything to me, so you can't get away from me now, but we're there. Managed to kill a couple, I think, or no, 1 from here, and then lost some more to morale. And over here we've swept through the looters and the what else was over there?
Mech guns.
Oh, the mech guns. So there is the Pain Boy locked in combat there, but other than that, that's it. So turn 4 for the Orcs movement. End of the movement phase. The Pain Boy fancies his chances. He's stayed in the fight here. This thing's regenerated some wounds and it's staying in the fight. It's decided there's nowhere else to run, and then the Orc mob are coming round. They want to kill the Canoness that's hidden down there. And then these guys are going to try and shoot and kill this thing. So let's do some shooting.
So you want to make it look like
so the end of the shooting phase, and this thing's down to 6 wounds. They pistol shot the Canoness. She's on 1 wound remaining, and that's it for shooting. Let's do some charges. End of the assault phase. I managed to kill a few of these as they came in. And I'm down to 2 wounds. This was a really easy kill here. And over here, no damage done in this fight, but the kill burst is down to 4 wounds, but the Knight's down to 6. And here we just traded blows and did nothing. So, second half of turn 4. At the end of the movement phase, this small squad have fallen back, and I'm going to melt the Pain Boy. This vehicle stayed put for a moment to see where it needs to shoot. The small squad of Dominions have stepped away from the combat, and the Knight stepped back because it can shoot even when it falls back, and then it can charge again. I'm going to kill it. I really am going to kill it. And then over here, the Immolator has pulled away, and the Exorcists haven't moved. They're going to put everything they can into this squad here. So at the end of the shooting phase, it was the Avenger Gatling cannon in the end that did it. It's been destroyed. The big mech is on the ground. I'm going to assault him. Over here, the Pain Boy is now dead. As a dodo, I melted his face. Melter guns will do the job. And I killed a heap of these guys. So now for the Orks on the table, all we've got is the mech here. These guns here. 4 lone Orc boys and a small squad here. So let's do some assaults because the night's going in. Then in the assault phase, I managed to kill 1 grot with the rhino, but took a wound in return. And as expected, the knight stomped the big mech into the ground. So turn 5 now for the Orks. End of the movement phase. These guys have stayed in the fight here. The Orks are moving round. They're going to charge, or they're going to shoot and then charge the Exorcist. And likewise here, they're going for the Immolator. So that's it for the shooting phase. The flames have finally done their job and the Immolator's been destroyed. It didn't explode. And here they took a couple more wounds off this Exorcist and they're going to try and multi-assault both of these vehicles, following up what the bikes were doing before. And at the end of the assault phase, again, no further damage done here. They failed to make it into the second vehicle, and this one has been pulled down to 3 wounds and no damage done in return. So let's go to the bottom half of turn 5 for the Sisters of Battle. So movement phase, I've moved across, I'm holding objective 1, I'm holding objective 2, and now I'm going to pile everything into these last few grots and their guns. I've fallen back with the Exorcist and I'm going to smite, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to kill as many of these guys as I can, and this rhino's fallen back to this objective and there's still those burner boys over there. So let's see what we can do in the psychic phase. So at the end of the psychic phase, managed to pull off smite and I've killed 3 more Orc war boys. That leaves 6 there. That's doable for 1 Exorcist. We should be able to shoot those out. Let's go into the shooting phase. And after the huge amount of firepower that was levied upon these poor grots and their guns, they are no more. Great shooting from the Exorcist, supported by Greyfax, and this small squad are now dead. So the only Orcs left on the table are these group of burner boys. Let's see if the game ends. So does the game end on a 1 or a 2? The game ends. That's a win to the Sisters of Battle. So we have 3 points scored here for the Orcs. They have Slay the Warlord, bringing them to 4, and then Linebreaker, because they are in the Sisters of Battle deployment zone, bringing them up to 5. Sisters of Battle are holding this one, 3, this one for 3, and this one for 3, so that's 9. They also slayed the Warlord, but they also had First Blood and Linebreaker, so that's 11. 11 to 5. Good game. Thank you, Alex. Epic handshake.
Yep.
Excellent. Thanks for watching.